G'day folks, welcome to what are we up to, part 9, yeah that'll do, part 9 of the 3Racing Sakura Ultimate Build series. Part 9 we are going to be assembling pretty much the rest of the suspension system. What in the instruction manual it's saying to build the turnbuckles and the steering rods and so forth. However, I'm going to leave that for part 10 because turnbuckles are probably the most hated part of any, well, for me it is anyway, probably the most hated part of any kit. But so they're going to be in the next video, and yeah, and then I'll show you how to attach them onto the suspension system and steering. So what I've done is, as I always say, if there's multiple of the same thing to build, I'll do most of it off camera and leave the last one to do. So what I've done is I've done the right hand side. So I've done the front and rear right knuckles and hubs. So this is what we're aiming to do. So front one and the rear. I may have to disassemble this because if you look closely when I turn this, you can see how it's kind of moving a little bit, which means to tell me that there's a bit of thread lock in there creating a bit of a bind, so I may have to pull this apart and reassemble this CVD. Now, as I was going through the parts, I had a look at this is the front CVD. Now, I'm no genius, but this to me looks like a blatant copy of one of the X-ray T4 systems. I forget what it's called. I'll put the name of it in the comments down below, but just your traditional CVDs on your cars and your buggies and trucks all look like that. It's just two parts. However, this is the rear one, this is the front one, and it's actually three parts. This is sort of like in between, and I'm not sure if any other companies use this system, but I know X-Ray came up with it first. So this this is a bit of a copy, but that's, doesn't matter. So anyway, let's get on with the build. So we'll start with the rear. We'll need to put a clip on the shaft dog bone, and what that does is it looks like that, and what that does, that goes into the outdrive on the rear diff. So now what we'll do, put our bearings into the rear hub, and just with the tool make sure it's all the way in. You can even use your CVD drive, and yeah, that looks alright. Alright, so now what we'll do is we'll get 1.5mm driver, and on the outer hole screw this in, not all the way, because we have to put a spacer and a pillow ball screw on, and just tighten it so it looks like that. Okay, so now we'll get our kingpin, and what we'll do now is carefully put that into the outdrive, the drive shaft. So if you can't see this, folks, but I'll show you in a second, and then line it up with the hole. Very tight fit actually. I may have to do a little disassembly later on and just give these all a once over. we go. It's in. That's what she said. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. So line the pin up. You want the kingpin to be flush at either end, because what we now need to do is get a grub, or a set screw rather. Have a habit of calling them grub screws. That's years of what I've been calling it. And there's a little hole here in the hub, and now we just screw it in till you feel it go tight. There we go. And what that does is the kingpin, this is the front kingpin, has a little notch, as you can see, and the set screw sits into that notch there and prevents it from slipping out. Alright, so that's the rear one done. Now on to the front. Now with your front, you have to pay attention. When you open up the front CVD drives, you get two bearings. These are slightly thinner than the other ones, so you have to pay attention. Now the thinner one goes in the back here. We'll just push it in. Then put our other bearing in. Now we just slide in the drive. Now what I haven't done is I haven't taken that bit of flashing off, and the bottom as well. Alright, now there are two eyelets we have to put in. The small eyelet goes up for the top, and this can be a bit tricky. It's in. Alright, now carefully we will slide in shaft through the hole. And screw in the bottom here. I'll just use my electric screwdriver for this one. Okay, pillow ball on the top. So as soon as you feel it go tight, that's when you stop. Alright, now put our set screw into the steering knuckle, and what you do is you tighten it until it goes flush, until it starts to come up the top. Then what we do, just get another pillow ball, screw it on and tighten it. Okay, now what we do is we'll carefully stick it in. And once again, with a kingpin, insert it in. Make sure it is flush. Now with our another set screw, same procedure again. Tighten it until it nips. You'll feel it nip. Alright. So that's that, folks. So that's our front and rear arms and suspension is there. I'm going to have to go over this. This is still quite tight. So yeah. So that's the end of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble most of the turnbuckles off camera, and I will do one half, and then I will show you the last turnbuckle, then we'll assemble the other half. So that will be for part 10. So stay tuned, folks.